Okay, peeps, welcome back. So today we're going to be talking about if Bitcoin has topped out, and we're going to be giving you an update on LTCN BCHG and HZEN. Let's get it. So the first thing that I want to point out to you guys, which you can see here on the charts, is the price of Bitcoin. So when we look at this charts, the first thing I'm sure you guys have noticed is the massive move up in Bitcoin. But something else that I want to point out that's extremely important, you guys can see that we're in the overbought territory on Bitcoin. We've been overbought since basically a little over a month now, about 5-6 weeks. We are actually hitting an 83 on the RSI, which is typically well over overbought territory. The usual setup for this indicator is a 20 oversold and a 80 overbought, but we have it set at a 30-70. So that way, if it's overbought or oversold, it's a little bit more obvious. The last time you guys can see that we were this overbought was basically all the way back here in January of 2021 when the price just absolutely ripped from, I think it was roughly around 4K. Yeah, roughly around 4K all the way to the top of this candle here, which was about 41,000. So that's a 10x move. I mean, that's huge. That's $36,000. And then before that, we were overbought over here in January of 2019, or I'm sorry, June of 2019. And again, over here, we were overbought at the cycle peak in 2017 of December. And keep in mind, we were kind of overbought and then basically back to break even throughout that entire cycle. But this last one, which was the highest peak, as you guys can see here, we're pretty close to the highest peak, was the actual final blow off top. But one thing I want to point out to you guys that's the most important thing to notice about this chart is each time we hit overbought territory, as you guys can see at a bird's eye view, we had a dump, okay? So the first time we had a dump here, we dropped, well, okay, I actually got to move the chart. Sorry, I forgot how large these moves can be. So from the top where the RSI was most overbought to the bottom, about 85%. From this RSI overbought territory here to the absolute bottom, about 71%. If you take a look at support, it was roughly about 50%. This zone here, which was the first time that we hit overbought, we went from that price there to the bottom, roughly about 30%. I should probably actually zoom this in a little bit so you guys can see it. So there's that 30% right there. And from this point here, we weren't really overbought. This whole thing right here was kind of bearish divergence, although the November peak did hit a higher peak. But as you guys can see, each time we hit RSI being overbought, price kept getting rejected. And then we had this massive dump from this point down roughly about 55%. So there's that. We are overbought on the RSI. Something else I want to point out to you guys on this chart is if you guys take a look closely, you can see we've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 green candles on the weekly in a row. And if you guys take a look at the charts here, you can, we skim over the charts pretty briefly. You guys can basically see that it's been a really, really long time since we've had that. So here you have 5 green candles, but it wasn't 8. Here you have 3, then a red one, then another 3. You have 3 here. You have 1, 2, 3, 4 here. Zoom out a little bit more. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then a red one. I could keep going on and on about this, but I think you guys kind of get the point here. So you got 7 here. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. So you can see it's actually been a long time since we've had 6 in a row. So the last time we had 6 in a row from the look of it, so you got 5 here, or I'm sorry, not 6, 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Keep going here. So you have this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 candles here. This was the last time that we basically had 8 green candles in a row on Bitcoin. So 2 months of straight green. We had a huge, massive 37% pullback. Okay. Let's actually bring the charts back over so we can take a look at this. So I got to get back to the chart here. So 37%. Let's just say this upcoming week we were to pull back that much. If we pulled back 37%, we would essentially pull back to roughly around 27,000. Now, is that going to happen? Well, it could, maybe, maybe not. 27,000 is below the support zone. I think if we have a pullback, we'll pull back to somewhere between 30 to 38,000 is what I think is likely. You can see based on historical data that it is likely that a pullback is coming. Is it guaranteed? No, but the probability I would say is pretty high at this point. So in terms of the pennant pattern target, the target once again is roughly about 47,000. We have not hit that yet, but once we hit it, we may see a massive rejection and then a sell-off from that point, or it may just sell off from here because it is pretty much within this overall resistance zone here. You can see these wicks and these body closes between 44 to 47,000. So with that being said, let's get into LTCN BCHG and HZEN. So got to zoom the chart out here because the price is really small when you compare it to the peak. So let's zoom the indicators out just a little bit so we can actually take a look at this. So you can see the MACD is in bull territory right now. We had a golden cross and we're sitting above the 0 level. That's bullish. The RSI is very bullish. It bounced off of the break-even level and now the RSI is overbought. The last time that we were overbought, as you guys can see, was back here during pretty much November of 2020. Got to really zoom out for this, but you can see that's pretty much almost exactly the top for LTCN. So we'll just kind of zoom out here a little bit again so we can look at this. So basically what I'm looking at right here is we're not really at major resistance yet. The major resistance zone, the closest one to us is about $13 to $15. Could it get rejected off of kind of this breakdown right here? It's possible, but it's pretty difficult to say at this point. LTCN does overall look bullish. Just so you guys know, this weekly close right here is what's considered to be a hammer candle. Hammer candle is a bullish. It is a bullish market candle pattern. Basically, what that means is, so pretty much what you want to look for is like a small close at the top and a long wick at the bottom. That indicates major buying pressure. And a hammer candle is very bullish. It's actually more bullish when you see it at the bottom, but even at the top here, I would say it's still bullish. That indicates that basically there's very strong buying pressure and the price could potentially get pushed even higher. But keep in mind the RSI is overbought and Bitcoin is massively overbought. Things like Litecoin and Bitcoin Cash are what's considered to be oscillators to Bitcoin. So when Bitcoin goes up, these tokens will go up. When Bitcoin goes down, these tokens will go down. So keep that in mind. BCHG, you guys know that we took profit on this. Main reason is because it had a wick rejection off of this resistance level up here. The RSI is massively overbought. Last time we saw that. Literally on the exact candle, we had a massive drop. This was a big drop, just so you all know. We pretty much dropped from the resistance almost back down to support. So it was about a 58% drop. That's a large drop. I don't know about y'all, but I would have been taking profit up here at resistance, which is exactly what we did on some massive candle like this. And if you actually look at the candles, you can see they look almost exactly like you got a small wick at the top and this huge candle body close pretty much right at resistance, and then it just dumps. So we're pretty much sitting on cash right now with this. We're waiting for it to come back down to this previous support level to get back into our position. So in terms of HZEN, take a look at the price of HZEN. The RSI is not really overbought. I would say this is probably the best one so far in terms of risk reward. We are in a bullish pennant pattern here. Again, we got this massive wick rejection on the weekly, but the green candle did close higher, so that's technically bullish, even though it's rejected off resistance. We want to see it close above this resistance zone above $2. If we get a candle close above there, that could indicate we're going higher to the next resistance level, which is between 260 to 290. If we get a rejection, we could be coming all the way back down here to 36 to 70 cents. I'm going to tell y'all right now, if we get prices that low, we are 100% going to be buying more of this, guaranteed. So this would be, I would say, probably the best position out of the three in terms of risk reward as of right now. Now, as for LTCN, just so y'all know, our personal opinion, we're considering taking at least some profit off the table, like maybe 50% of our position in profit off the table. Could the prices go higher? Yeah, absolutely they could. 100% LTCN could move up even more, but we're kind of seeing a lot of warning signs in Bitcoin and in these ETFs right now that they may be getting massively overbought. We could always buy more between $7 to $8. If we sell out half of our position and buy the equivalent back at a slightly higher price, we might move our cost basis up to like $6 or something like that, but that's still pretty good. In order to get a 50x, it would have to go from $6 to $300. And as y'all know, in the LTCN price, if we take a look at the macro view, this thing went way higher than $300 on the last cycle. So does it mean does it mean that it can't go higher? I mean, it could go higher. The Litecoin halving happened in August, and the Bitcoin halving is going to happen next year. That cuts the supply of both in half. You got major institutions getting into crypto. We're talking multi-trillion-dollar, the whales of the industry basically getting into crypto. That could really seriously move the price up way higher than this. We're talking maybe like $700, $800, $1,000 a share. It's possible. Okay. May not happen right away, but over the long term, definitely possible. So with that being said, hope you all enjoyed today's content. Let us know your thoughts down below on LTCN, BCHG, HZEN, and Bitcoin. And please like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see y'all later. Peace.